quick, quick little note. I had the opportunity to talk to Lucretia early in her running, or the pretense of potential running, and there's no one smarter. There's no one more savvy, down to earth, just passionate persuader. This individual is just outstanding with everything that she does, everything she puts her commitment, her heart to, and she gives her heart out freely. She's really one of a kind, and she will do well for us at the highest level of government. Um, I had the opportunity to talk to her about her slogan, and because I am the person I am, I was thinking, hey, what's that movie with Bruce Willis? I thought a good slogan would have been "Live free or die hard." Needless to say, that met the cutting room floor. So that being said, Lucretia moved to Tucson in 2001. She started a community newsletter called the Southeast Side Connections later that summer. And this evolved into our hometown community newspaper, the Vail Voice. In a recent marketing study, the Vail Voice was recognized as the number one newspaper source for our area. She began working for Supervisor Christie when he was first elected to office. Shortly thereafter, she established the Southeast Regional Council, which provides an opportunity for citizens to discuss and resolve hotspot issues with elected officials and administrators in the city, county, and the state. Lucretia's three children all graduated from our fantastic Vail School District. What an outstanding woman. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Lucretia Free.
Hey, y'all. Thank you so much for coming out today. This is a beautiful day in the Vail area, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm sure there's tons of other things you guys could be doing if you so chose. So I am grateful that you chose this place to be here at this time with me to launch my kickoff campaign. So I am a country girl, or let's say I'm from the boonies, which is what we call it in rural Ohio. So it was a place where we lived and we were surrounded by cornfields. Stover's farm was just over the rise, and we had a creek that ran through the back of our house that housed tons and tons of crawdads. Now, I was an adult with children, I'm embarrassed to say, when I learned that people actually eat those things. And so, so, but that was the place that I was from. And again, with an adult's perspective, I see that I really had an idyllic childhood. It was a time and place that sadly doesn't really exist anymore, right? Where we were able to hang out outside all day, unsupervised, barefoot, riding our bicycles, catching lightning bugs in the evening. And Dad said, "You better be home when that porch light comes on." We were home when that porch light came on. And so it was a place that you guys are probably familiar with, right? It's far from the city center. They say it's in the middle of nowhere, underserved. Roads are always an issue. It's a place where it's a divided community. Some people want growth, and some people want to just be left the heck alone. Now, you guys wouldn't know the kind of place I'm talking about. But anyway, so it was called Wilberforce, Ohio. And it was named after a guy named William Wilberforce, who was an abolitionist. It was also a stop on the Underground Railroad. And I grew up in the shadow of two universities, Wilberforce University and Central State University. So it is with this backdrop that my sisters and I, my sister Sheila is here with us today, grew up together. Thank you. Go Sheila, go Sheila. So it's with the backdrop of with that we grew up together as sisters. And my dad was the only Republican in our entire community. He was the only voice that sort of espoused those conservative values that he talked with me about, supporting small business and limited government and definitely supporting our military. And when you're a young girl, you want to connect with your dad in some way. So the way I connected with my dad was through watching shows on TV, watching movies with him. We would watch wildlife shows, and we would watch political shows as well. So one of the shows that we would watch regularly was uh, let's see, it was the McLaughlin Group, which came on PBS, run by John McLaughlin. I don't know if you guys know him, but he would always end his show by saying bye bye. So it was like I really loved him saying that. And we would watch Meet the Press, and we would watch many different shows. And so we also sat side by side and watched the Watergate hearings. And so my dad thought that was very important that during this particular time in history that I understand the political process and the impact that it had on our community. So yeah, I was there side by side with Dad watching that, but the guy that I was really interested in was John Dean, because I just thought he was so cute. So cute. So we also learned, and my sisters and I learned at our dinner table, how important it is to be able to listen to views that are different than yours. My dad, we had a very active and animated conversations at our dinner table where you had to kind of defend and support your position with facts that we had seen and read all day, and we discussed this. So I'm very used to listening to people who have views that are very different than mine, finding those common areas of agreement. And so that's the background that I had. Now, many years later, I have received my MBA. I am an adult, married, with 3 very young children, and we're living in San Francisco. And the San Francisco area, of course, is very expensive, and it wasn't too long before my husband and I realized that we really couldn't have the kind of life that we wanted for our children that kind of mirrored my experience in Ohio in the Bay Area. So we moved to Tucson. And so here is where, as you've heard, I started the publication. But unfortunately, tragedy struck our family when he unexpectedly died of a heart attack in 2001. And may none of you ever have to tell your very young children that their father has passed away. It was a very difficult time. And it was my faith that carried me during that time, but it was also this community that carried me. And I'm not special, because many of you have also experienced the love and support of this place, either being the recipient of it or being someone who has experienced it personally by giving it. And so this place, the people that live in this community came to my house and they fixed dinners for us. They took my kids off on play dates. I believe a train may be coming. We'll see how that goes. I may have to stop for a minute. And it was just, sometimes people sat with me just quietly, because sometimes there's no words. And so it is for this reason that I'm running for office. Because I think, hang on. Let's play something in the interlude. It's actually not so bad, is it? Okay, so I'll carry on. It's not so bad. I love it. Okay, so it is. It's with this backdrop then that I believe that it's important to add my voice to those that are out there in terms of some practical solutions that work for our area. Many of you have worked very much side by side with me on various aspects of problems that we have in our community. We've worked together and we've figured it out. We haven't always agreed on everything at every point in time, but we have found those areas of agreement and moved together for the good of the community toward positive solutions. And this is the reason I think it's important to run for office. So it is on my parents' shoulders that I stand as I'm before you today. My dad, who showed me how to be the only voice, if that's really what you believe in. And my mom, who was kind of like the social person, who had bridge parties at our house and had people over for fundraisers and to add her voice to the community. Mahatma Gandhi said, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. And I am fortunate enough to have had that experience with my parents showing me the way. Now, you guys know that running for political office, unfortunately, does cost there's financial impact to that. So I am here today to humbly and sincerely ask for your financial support. We have a table over here with my very fine campaign manager, Barbara, and she can talk to you about, thank you, she can talk to you about making contributions to the campaign. But there are also many other ways to be a part of this campaign. We have a sign-up sheet for people who are interested in volunteering their time, people that are interested in walking neighborhoods with me, people who would like to do postings, people who would like to make phone calls. You might even come up with a way that we haven't even thought of yet. But in any event, I just want you to know how much I appreciate you taking the time to come out and be with us today. And I really appreciate all the speakers. You guys were incredible. And I just want to say again, thank you for coming. Beth Borozan came up with this. Live free, vote free. Thank you, you guys. And enjoy some of the refreshments that are in the back. There's cookies and there's iced tea. And thank you, guys. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Man, I feel like a woman. The girls need a break tonight. We're gonna take the chance to get out on the town. We don't need romance, we only wanna dance. We're gonna let our hair hang down. The best thing about being a woman is the prerogative to have a little fun. They're totally crazy, fucking them a lady. Men shirt, short skirts. Really go wild, yeah, doing that in sky. Get in the action, feel the attraction. Color my head, do what I dare. Wanna be free, yeah, feel the way I feel. Man, I feel like a woman.